Tell us who you are.
I am Greg Flamm. I go by Greg Sonic Emporium. The story behind that is I've been a picker for the last 10 years, and my business is called DuPage Picker Odd Vintage and Odd Emporium. So I kind of just continue with the Emporium. Plus, you know, I'm now 60, and I've done a lot of music stuff. So I just kind of wanted a page that kind of encompassed everything that I've done musically, and then going forward musically. I just wanted to kind of have something that kind of represented or would imply that there's a lot of different music. It's not just original, or it's not just whatever. So, but my history is with mostly tribute bands. Probably most popular was Elevation. I was in for 2001 to 2005. Then I started my own again. I had my own in the 80s. I was one of the guys that was like early on doing a tribute band to a band that was still alive. It was like a big deal back then. It's like in the 80s, it was like the Doors, the Beatles. It had to be a band that was like deceased or over. And I was doing a tribute to U2 in '86. And people were like, why? And it did pretty well. I mean, you know, and you know how tribute bands are, you already got the built-in crowd. So anyway, yeah, so that did well. So I did that in the 80s. I did Elevation in 2001 to 5. That did really well. Then I did Vertigo USA from 2005 to 2014. And I was booking, managing, and being the edge in those bands. And I also did original projects and other stuff in the meantime, but that was my bread and butter, so to say.
Bathe my skin in water, feel what it's like to be new. 'Cause in my head there's a great round station where I set my thoughts to far off destinations, so that they may have a chance of finding a place to follow or
I have like over 850 like paid shows. Like it was like 100 gig a year type stuff, you know. And yeah, because we're recording, I'll brag about it, you know. But a lot of people don't know that. I don't tell a lot of people about that. But yeah, I'm full time back. You know, most of my life I was full time musician, all that stuff. And you know, did the original thing, but you know, there's a planets you have to line up. You have to have financial backing. You got to have a lot of luck. So you give it a shot and see what happens. But then at the end of the day, you want to just perform in front of people, and got paid to see the country, South America, you know, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Grand Cayman, all that stuff, and had a lot of fun doing it.
you sit there in your heartache, waiting on some beautiful boy to save you from your old ways. You play forgiveness, watching how it comes. It doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but it talks like a gentleman, like you imagine you were young. Can we climb this mountain? I don't know. Higher ground than ever before. Can make it if we take it slow. Let's take it easy, easy now. Watch it go. We're burning down the highway sky. Like a hurricane that started turning you. We're young.
I was a big Edge fan. I loved his racks of effects, and I also have technical degree from Conservatory of Recording Arts and Science out in Tempe, Arizona. The biggest compliment was they offered me a teaching position after I went to the school. So I'm like, I must have done something all right. But I had just moved back to Chicago, and they wanted me to be a teacher, and I have to go back to Arizona. And I'm like, oh, I just moved back to Chicago, and I got an offer to play in another U2 tribute band. I'm like, I felt like I can perform now. When my elbow falls off from performing, I could go teach. So that's kind of where I'm still at with it. Anyway, so when I took a little bit of time off, because I was, like I said, booking, performing, all that stuff, kind of burned out, you know, and you get a bad group of guys. I just kind of took what I thought would be a year off, turned into 4 years. And then when I was getting the bug to get back into it, I got leukemia, and I beat it. I'm in remission, no pity. And then soon after that, I had a heart attack and survived that, of course. Then after that, I got colon cancer, survived that. So that's been the last 4 or 5 years now. So what turned into a 1 year break, it's been kind of 8 years. So now I'm doing this to kind of get my chops back and meet other people. And I don't think I want to do a band either. I kind of getting used to a duo or solo thing, you know.
Oh, say, 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 oh, say, 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 oh, say, 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 oh, say, 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 they don't love me like I love you. They don't love me like I love you.
When did you start playing?
Probably in 1979. I started playing with a guitar. It goes back sooner, like in '77, my mom bought me a cheap acoustic, and I was this punk-ass 16-year-old kid that was like, it's acoustic, it's not cool, I need an electric guitar, I need an amp, I need a distortion pedal. And so I didn't touch my mom's acoustic, broke her heart. But then I had a paper route, and for 8th grade graduation, I took all that money and got Les Paul copy, a Trainer combo amp, and a couple pedals, and from there on, and I think I did my first professional show like in '82 at the Abbey in Elmhurst there, next to York High School. I'm a York High School graduate, '83. So yeah, and then from there, I knew, I didn't go to college because I knew I just wanted to be a guitarist. I just was like, get through high school and, you know, just pursue all that. Right. And then later on in my 30s, I did go to, you know, the recording school, and just kept playing my whole life.
Is there any particular night, like, you know, there's nights when you're playing and all the stars align and everything is just perfect. Do you have any particular night?
Would that be like an open mic night or anything? Well, the biggest crowd I ever played, it was 8,000 people in El Salvador, opening for Good Charlotte. And surprisingly, Good Charlotte played for like 3 hours. They did like all their original materials like 45 minutes, and then they played covers like for 2 more hours, because you're in front of 8,000 people.
Right.
And so why wouldn't you want to keep playing? But I'll never forget armed guards in the front of the stage. So like, that's El Salvador, right? You know, third world, you know, not to badmouth it. It was just, it was unique because crowd control, you know, it was like, but I was like, you know, you do with or without you, you get to sing-alongs and everything. And I'm thinking while I'm playing this, you know, it was an awesome night. And I'm like, multiply this by like 12, and that's like what it felt like to be the Beatles, because it was literally screams coming at you with 8,000 people, like they were into it. And it was like, never had that big of a response.
Social media you want to pin for?
Yeah, it's just Greg Sonic Emporium everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. For the most part, I'm going to set up like an EPK thing, electronic press kit, with it. But for now, I'm on those three. On my YouTube, I think I have about 60 plus videos from open mics.